The relationship between me and aliens for the past few years could best be described as rocky. And not in the literal sense. This isn't Mass Effect. I'm not banging aliens. I just have always been a fine-grained doubter of the concept of aliens being on Earth. I mean, I don't doubt that there are aliens out in the universe. I think that with a literally or hypothetically infinite universe, there's no way there can't be life out there. But I've always doubted the concept that they've been sneaking around on Earth without us being able to see them for a few years. And I have been shown to eat my words. See, I've always thought of the Fermi paradox as the best way to think of things. There is overwhelming evidence to support that there should be life out there, but there's also zero evidence that there is life near us. Well, I might be wrong, supposedly with the government hearing that had happened yesterday. Also, before we get into things, yes, my face is still puffy. I had wisdom tooth surgery. I'm healing. I'm not hiding things in my mouth right now like a chipmunk. I am just, like, swelled up because I have had my teeth stolen. Now, I first heard about this when I saw a Twitter user post this, and I know it's on Twitter, so information is muddled, but this document, you can pause this and read it if you want, kind of talks about the fact that there are government black projects that are now allowed to have whistleblowers to spread this information. And there's actually another YouTuber that I'm fond of, Capri Sun Poppy, who covered this so much better than I did in his video. Here, look at this guy. I mean, you tell that he knows what aliens are? He posted a video very recently, a 17-minute breakdown of alien spottings in the recent history, as well as a breakdown of the government hearing stuff that was going to happen prior to it actually going down. And by the way, Capri, I love your video. I love how obsessed you are with the aliens. You inspire me to not become a doubter anymore. But this was a lot of information that we were going to be releasing at once. And so I wanted to dig into it, and I wanted to talk about the things that I had saw happen at the hearing. Of course, if you want to see a more in-depth description, his video will be in the description of this video, so check that out if you want to. So subscribing is actually scientifically proven to help my wisdom teeth recover faster, and also it adds 38 seconds of lifespan to your life. So do that. Consider the button. Oh my god, I'm going insane. Help me, please. Now, first I'm going to show you one clip from the hearing that I thought was the most interesting. So let's check this out, and then we'll talk about it in a second. So get out of here, coach.
Do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
So this is David Grushk. I probably butchered that pronunciation, but he is a former Air Force officer and intelligence official with the government. And apparently he has a lot of information around studying the UFOs that the government has possession of. And this is the information that he talks about in this hearing. It is insane.
Okay, I can't ask when you think this occurred. If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
So this man, David, came forward and in the most casual way possible admits that there are non-human pilots piloting these foreign vehicles on our planet. Now, I don't know how valid all of this could be. There is one man talking. There's a possibility that it could be a guy making things up for some attention online. But the thing is, the White House, like, greenlit this. The White House allowed a hearing to happen on this topic. They wouldn't just do that on word of mouth or hearsay. This has some weight behind it. And of course, me still being a doubter, I still have the capacity that it could be him making things up for clout. But this seems very, very serious, especially with the government taking it seriously, this serious at least. It's a little suspect, a little sus among us. So some imposters on our planet. God damn it. Also, our boy David did take an oath, and so under oath he was admitting these things. If he were to have been lying and caught lying, and because supposedly if he had he says he has evidence to back it up. If he were to have lied, said he had evidence to back it up, and then eventually never had the ability to show that evidence, he would be in prison. So this is a bit of a big risk to go out on and lie about. So there's a lot of damning evidence that this is actually real things that we're experiencing right now. There's also apparently evidence that the aliens have been aggressive, which is already terrifying, because if they can cross the galaxy and get to us, but when we try to leave our planet, it's like an asthmatic trying to go on a jog. That's scary, because their technology is clearly vastly superior than us. So here's another video from the hearing where they talk about how the aliens could hypothetically be hostile, which, oh my god, that's terrifying.
At one point, you had said that there has been harmful activity or aggressive activity. Has any of the activity been aggressive, been hostile in your reports?
I know of multiple colleagues of mine that got physically injured. And the activity, and I got
by UAPs or by people within the federal government?
both.
Okay, so there has been activity by alien or non-human technology and or beings that has caused harm to humans.
I can't get into the specifics in an open environment, but at least the activity that I personally witnessed, and I have to be very careful here because they tell you never to acknowledge tradecraft, right? So what I personally witnessed myself and my wife was very disturbing.
So yeah, apparently not only are the aliens violent, but the federal government's violent, which that part I'm not surprised about. The federal government's literally war crime simulator. The most hypocritical government in the world. But we won't talk about that. That's for an entire other story. Like the whole Wendigoon thing where he talked about how we used to skin people and hang them from trees and then tell the village that it was a vampire so that they would side with us in the Cold War. That's a real thing, by the way. But anyway, let's look further into this alien thing. Now, there's also people talking about the actual ships that the aliens have been piloting. There's a 5-minute video where a guy talks about the Tic Tac that he had witnessed flow across the ocean at apparently 60 miles a minute. I'll show some stuff about that, but first I want to show you stuff from this guy named Graves, who talks about just kind of like the addressing of something not being right with the crafts that they've been seeing go in the sky. And just check this out real quick. There's so much information to talk about. It's so cool, dude.
How do you know that these were not our aircraft?
Some of the behaviors that we saw in a working area, we would see these objects being at 0.0 Mach, that's 0 airspeed, over certain pieces of the ground. So what that means, just like a river, if you throw a bobber in, it's going to float downstream. These objects were staying completely stationary in Category 4 hurricane winds. These same objects would then accelerate to supersonic speeds, 1.1, 1.2 Mach, and they would do so in very erratic and quick behaviors that I don't have an explanation for.
I also love the little Minecraft like name tag that he has above his desk, but anyway, that's not important. We're here to talk about aliens. Now, apparently there was also things that they talked about in this hearing that I don't exactly have footage of, but I heard when I was watching it, where they would have that Tic Tac, the thing that they're talking about in this video, float above the water, and there would be like bubbling coming out of the water, as if there's something communicating with it. They think that there's something on the bottom of the ocean that has been communicating with the aliens, so I guess they may have like a forward operating base at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. I don't know. We can't go there because we can't check it out. I mean, last year I went... hey, the last guy that went to go check it out in a sub might have imploded. I don't know, man. But anyway, another thing that Capri Sun mentions in his video, which I find really interesting, is that there was actually a disinformation campaign done by the U.S. government to make it so that people who are super alien believers were kind of deemed insane. And of course, you see this a lot over media. You see the whole tinfoil hat and the insane, like, stigma behind people who believe that there is extraterrestrials on Earth. So it is an interesting concept to think that that was something that was put together by the U.S. government just to make people doubt. We get more Debbie Doubters out in here. But I believe that. I think that's a pretty believable thing. Of course, there is also the possibility that there is nothing. I don't know. But I'm starting to be tilted more in the direction that there is actually some goofballs on our planet that weren't here when it started. Now, I'm going to show you footage from the actual Tic Tac thing that I've been talking about. It's a 5-minute video, so there's a lot to talk about. So I'm actually going to come into the corner here. Hello. Hi. I'm up here now and listen to it with you guys because there's some interesting stuff they talk about. And I want to cover just some of it. I already skipped a good minute 33 in, but here.
We proceeded around the circle about 90 degrees from the start of our descent, and the object suddenly shifted its longitudinal axis, aligned it with my aircraft, and began to climb.
He's chilling in his airplane, and then the plane that you're looking at, the guy that the alien that crossed the water from you, just like he's sitting here, just turns and looks at you. That's terrifying. But anyway, let's look at it some more.
We continued down another 270 degrees, nose low, where the Tic Tac, or we considered 270 degrees to where, and we went nose low to where the Tic Tac would have been. Our altitude at this point was about 15,000 feet, and the Tic Tac was about 12,000. As we pulled nose onto the object, within about a half mile of it, it rapidly accelerated in front of us and disappeared. Our wingmen, roughly 8,000 feet above us, lost contact also. We immediately turned back to see where the white water was at, and it was gone also. So as we started to turn back towards the east, the controller came up and said, "Sir, you're not going to believe this, but that thing is at your cat point, roughly 60 miles away in less than a minute."
60 miles a minute! 60 miles an hour is fast for a car. Not really not fast, but like 60 miles a minute? Anyway, I think that I've kind of covered the main things of this. There's a bunch of other information in this video that talks about how the vehicle had no known, like, control area, no rotors, no divots. Like, you know how in a car, you have a car and there's, like, little lines that, like, between the metal plates. It was just a ball. Which means, like, how did they make it? They would, like, use a 3D printer? Did they put it in a metal press? Like, what did they do to make this vehicle? Apparently, there is no known thing right now. And it's really interesting. I mean, I guess we'll study it when I'll take it. I'll go capture it and put it in my basement. I'll, like, hit it with, like, hammers and such. Now, there's indefinitely more stuff that I had missed in this video. I just wanted to cover some of the big points that I had spotted on the internet, because I want you guys to have some information that you wouldn't have had otherwise regarding this. Now, it's reasonable to be scared. I mean, of course, this is a completely new reality. A lot of people who genuinely were doubting the idea of aliens, their life has been flipped on their head. There's a chance that there actually might be stuff out there, and the evidence is completely, like, staggering at this point. There's so much now compared to what there was previously, when it was just crazy hillbillies in the country yelling about Tic Tacs in the sky. This is a lot. So I genuinely would like to see what you guys think about in the comments below. I also, again, implore you to watch Capri Sun Poppy's video. It's so good. He does such a better deep dive into this. I merely just briefly cover topics every day because I just talk about things to a camera. He put work into this. He put thought into this. He has sources. He is crazy. Check it out. It's linked in the description below. And also, stick around for more videos from me. Subscribe if you are new. I'd really appreciate it. I make videos every single day for you guys, and I'd love to have the community grow, because it's been growing so well lately. And also, hopefully my face will heal soon, and I'll stop bleeding out of my gumless teeth. Or my teethless gums. God, I'm going insane. Sorry, the alien tractor beams are getting to me. I need to get out of here. Thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, join the Discord, maybe, if you want to, so you can yell about aliens more and put your tinfoil caps on, and have a wonderful day. And I'll see you next time I upload. And as always, adios, arrivederci, goodbye, good night, and watch your gneep gnorp, or I'll gnop your gneep. I'm going insane, help me.